Hey guys, Mary Meet, and welcome to the first episode of Bewitching the Moon. And I've actually been doing some tarot card videos where I have been, they're called Bewitching the Cards, and I've been going over tarot cards, card by card, and examining the meaning of each individual card. And it's kind of been a learning process for me, but it's also hopefully a learning process for other people. I'm kind of hoping that, it will help others learn tarot. But I decided to start doing these videos as, I don't know, this is something I'm really excited about, and this is something I kind of had a vision for, and I'm setting an intention for it, where what I would like to do is every full moon, I would like to create a video. Eventually I would like to do these live, and I would like to actually take questions and talk to people and chat with people as I do this. But what I'd like to do is, talk about various things that are going on in my life, in my spiritual life. I'll try not to bore you too much, but also make something, some sort of craft, some sort of pagan thing. So hopefully it'll be kind of cool. In my head, it's really going to be really cool, so we'll see how it goes. And today we are actually going to make 3 oils. I'm making a full moon oil. I'm going to do that in a sweet almond base. I'm making a Hecate oil, and I'm going to do that in an olive oil base. And I am making a kind of a cross between a black cat oil and an uncrossing oil. And I'll get into that later. That's going to be a mineral oil base. So I'll be making those for you here. And I'm actually going to be doing them in 3 separate takes. So bear with my crazy editing. This is my first long video, so it's just going to be kind of easier to gather the ingredients and film one at a time. So yeah, so anyways, that's my intention. I might do a short video on the new moons. I've gotten very much into the cycle of setting my intention on the new moon and then kind of examining how everything fell out on the full moon. So it kind of gives me a direction for every moon cycle. And then from full moon to new moon, I get to kind of process everything that I've learned and wind back down, until I can set my next intention at the next new moon. So I might do short videos at the new moon too, just saying what my intention is. So yeah. So today is, it's November 14th. I'm looking at my notes over here. And it's the Hunter's moon, the frosty moon. Most people know it as the beaver moon. It is in Taurus. And the new moon was October 30th, and that was in Scorpio. So the intention that I set on October 30th was to collect knowledge, because I've been working on my Book of Shadows, and I've been practicing for a long, long time. I've started 3 books of shadows and never followed through, never finished them. But I'm really I'm not creating a Book of Shadows, I'm just compiling all of my notes from various notebooks and blog posts and different places that I've just kind of collected all this stuff. So I'm putting it together, hopefully making it pretty. I've been working on some scrap papers and distressing them and doing neat things. So that was my original intention, was to kind of compile knowledge. And I've been working in my Book of Shadows every single day. But as so often happens, sometimes your best of intentions get waylaid by life circumstances. And so while that was my original intention, what November has actually been for me in this moon cycle has been a time of purging, of letting go. And I started that with my Samhain ritual. And I don't want to go into too many details because I don't believe in necessarily talking about the magic that we work, because I feel like that kind of takes away some of its power. But what I did is I essentially took a lot of the grieving and mourning energy that I've had. We've lost a lot of people over the last few years, and I took a lot of that energy and I gave it to Hecate as an offering. And asked her to kind of transform that energy for me. And it was one of the best rituals I've ever done. And I feel so much lighter. I feel so much better. It was really just incredibly powerful for me. And I'm writing on I'm riding along on that energy still. It hasn't gone away. So November has been about letting go. And it kind of, we had this one catalytic event. We had this, I don't want to talk too much about it, but there was just a person who I saw every day who was so negative and so just bad for me to be around, just bad in my environment. And I don't want to talk about it too much. And that person has since left. And because of the way they left, I tried to work with that person, didn't work out. But the way that she left, she's in a bad situation now, and she's kind of dealing with her own karma with that, and I'm trying to let that go. I'm trying not to feel guilty. I'm trying not to, because I did try. I tried to work with her, and it just was not going to work out. So that happened at the beginning of the month, right after the new moon. And so I was talking to a friend, and he has a lot of negativity in his life, a lot of things that he needed to let go, and he kind of signs on for my crazy projects, which is great. I need someone who is like, yeah, Amy, that's crazy, but I still like it. So we came up with Let Go Vember. And what we've been doing is every single day we let go of something. And that can be an attitude. And for me, a lot of it's been like guilt tripping myself over things that I don't get done in a day. I have some chronic illnesses, but I'm also very type A. So I try to get a lot done. I've had to let go of guilt for that. So it's been things like that have been kind of like attitude adjustments or mental things I needed to get over. A lot of it's been physical. We got rid of a chair. We got rid of an old monitor and 2 old computers. Just getting rid of things in my environment. Like, I'm kind of in this phase where I'm ready to let go of everything. I want everything out of my house. And then I'll pick like 10 things to come back in. So that's kind of neat. But then again, with all these chronic illnesses, I've kind of been hurting myself a lot. I'm covered in bruises and in a lot of pain. So I don't know, change is painful. So that's been my moon cycle so far. And it just kind of works out that way. You can set all the intentions you want, but sometimes life just tells you what you need. And actually, the new moon was in Scorpio, and Scorpio is kind of a good catalyst for change. And now, the full moon is in Taurus right now. And so that has to do with your home life and with kind of creating your environment. And so it's really kind of worked out exactly the way it was supposed to. So still going to be working on purging throughout the month of November, and I'm kind of listing everything that I have been letting go of on my website, which is amieravenson.com. So, so anyways, I think that was pretty much all that I wanted to say. I don't know. The holidays are coming up, and we're trying to look for ways to make them sacred for ourselves. I worked retail for a long time and kind of killed the holidays for myself. Anyone who's ever worked in retail knows that happens. But we're trying to like reclaim them and make them sacred. So that's gonna be fun. And actually tonight, I forgot to mention, I'm going with my husband and our friend, and we are going to go find a place to look at the supermoon. This is supposed to be like the closest it's going to be for the next 30 years or so. And it's supposed to be like gorgeous. So we are actually going to a state park, and we're going to go find some place on the water to go look at the moon. And again, this is the same friend that goes along with my crazy ideas, so I kind of appreciate that. But I'm going to make pumpkin empanadas with a, let me think about it, persimmon cranberry compote to use as like a sauce, and probably some pecan maple syrup buckwheat. I think I may go with brown rice. It depends on, I've got buckwheat and it may not be the freshest, so I may go with brown rice instead. So all vegan, because I cook vegan, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'll let you know. So that's it. Let's get to the oils. Hey guys, okay, here is the full moon oil. And please Forgive me, my cat is going ape shit in the background. I think he's like really, I think he's gonna end up being my familiar because I get the impression that he is just crazy with all the full moon energy. So I'm also doing a lot of things, you know, running back and forth, getting ingredients and everything, and none of those things involve playing with him, and he's a little pissed off. So he's awfully cute, but he's hopefully not going to jump up in the middle of this. So okay, so we're starting with the full moon oil, and I always like to start with the stone first. I feel like that just kind of helps set the intention for the oil. And again, this is kind of a weird angle directly down, but I have a tiny chip of moonstone here. And I don't know if you can see it. It has like a really good flash. It's really pretty. So yeah, so that goes in for our full moon oil. So here's the thing. Most of the oils that I have are essential oils, or the this is actually a perfume, but it's a very, very richly scented perfume. So I don't worry about using that, which a really good perfume is just going to be essential oils and alcohol. So this will have a little bit of alcohol in it. I've got a vanilla oil, eucalyptus. I had some jasmine essential oil, and it was a tiny little bottle like this. However, jasmine oil is expensive, and I bought it probably 15 years ago, and I used it so sparingly that I didn't know what was going on with it, and I went to smell it, and it smelled rancid. So we're going with a really good quality jasmine fragrance oil, and I got this for making soap. And normally I would be a little weird about using like a fragrance oil, you know, something that's made from chemicals, but with jasmine, it's so expensive that people have gotten really good at mimicking this scent because nobody wants to pay that much for an oil. So we're going to start with 13 drops of this jasmine oil. I see you, Baron. Okay. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13. Okay. And I should have gotten a container to put these used droppers in before I get a chance to clean them. I always use separate droppers for every oil because I don't want the scent of, you know, this oil to contaminate this oil and that sort of thing. So I get these cheap plastic droppers and then I just clean them using alcohol. So we're going to use 13 drops of sandalwood. I don't think I even need a dropper for this. I think this will just kind of dump out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, maybe the last one, 13 right there. God, that smells so good. I'm going to do 13 drops of vanilla oil. And I just love vanilla and jasmine together. Like, they're amazing. And this just smells good anyways, so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Alrighty. And then I'm just going to do 9 drops of eucalyptus oil. I feel like the eucalyptus would overpower everything else if I used more. So yeah, we've got a dropper. So here we go. Oop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Come on. 9. There we go. Alrighty, and I got that around the edge a little bit. So just get on the cork so it'll end up mixing in when I mix everything in. Alrighty. And let's see. I'm going to add, okay, I'm going to start with a pinch of Irish moss. Now, Irish moss is not moss. It's actually, let me show you, it's actually a seaweed. Okay? And I have it because it's used in making beer, and I used to make a lot of beer, so I just happen to have it on hand. But it's good to have in your magical cabinet anyways, because as seaweed, it is very connected to water, to the tides, and therefore connected to the moon. So it is considered a lunar herb. And again, it's not moss. It may not even be Irish. I don't know. Maybe we've been lied to. So we're just going to do a pinch of that. Look at me, like, saving it carefully. Like, I, use a ton of this stuff, which I don't. Okay. Now, here's something I do use a lot of. And this is myrrh. Actually, this is specifically sweet myrrh, which is also called a Papanex. So I like this more than regular myrrh because it is gentler. Like, a really strong myrrh to me smells a lot like frankincense, and I don't like frankincense. I have tried with frankincense, but I just don't love it. It's just too strong for me. But this is actually really nice, and it's very feminine, whereas I think of frankincense as being very masculine. So this is something I use to kind of represent the feminine principle, the goddess, that sort of thing. And all the things that go along with that. So psychic powers, anything feminine, and, obviously lunar. So I've got 5 drops here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's see, I think that was all that I wanted to get in there, except, oh, wait. I have a sugar shaker filled with glitter, and this is where you can envy me, because everyone should have one of these. So we're going to add some glitter in, full moon, come on. It's kind of perfect. So let's see if I can do this without getting it everywhere. You know how glitter is. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. And I like the idea that if I wear this, and I could wear this as, a perfume oil, and I like the idea of just getting glitter all over myself because I'm crazy. I'm a child of the 90s where we went to raves and did stupid shit like that. So, okay. So here I'm going to use a sweet almond base. And almond is also, associated with the moon. And I just like the idea. It just kind of smells. It's nice. It's neutral. And it's kind of light. It's not like super heavy like an almond oil or something along those lines. So I'm not going to fill it all the way up. Man, that is pretty. That glitter just looks great in there. Really pleased with that. Alrighty. So, again, so would have been handy to have like a bowl or something to catch all this stuff. Alrighty, let's give it a whirl. See how it goes. And what I do with my oils is I just kind of swirl them clockwise. And I kind of infuse them with my intention. So I'm going to go quiet for a few minutes while I do that. I'll probably edit this part out. So just a moment. Alrighty. Now I'm going to take this tonight. I mentioned that I'm going with my husband and a friend. And I'm going to take this tonight to kind of infuse it under the full moon. And I'm probably going to leave it out tonight, as well as these 2 moonstones. And this is where I take a second to brag about my husband. I asked him, he actually works really near pretty much the best metaphysical shop here in North Georgia, or the Atlanta metro area. And I asked him to find me some moonstones. He found me these beautiful moonstones. And it's kind of hard to find the flash in these, but it just has gotten really difficult to find good rainbow moonstones these days. But there's still so much going on in there. There's so much sparkle on the inside, and I don't think the camera is going to pick that up. But anyways, he did really good, and I really appreciated him. He also was looking for vervain and nightshade for me, and he asked the person there, what could be substituted, and I was just so proud of him. He's really good. He's not pagan, but he goes along with all my wooginess, so I really appreciate that. So these are going to go with us tonight, as well as the oil, and look at that. Look at how pretty that is. I hope you can see like the glitter kind of floating there. It's staying suspended. And you can see the myrrh and the Irish moss. Now let's smell it. Let's see. Oh man. God, That smells amazing. That little bit of eucalyptus, it does kind of overpower everything else, but it's so nice and crisp and cool. It is very lunar. You know, it kind of works that way. So I may put some more jasmine in there, but I think I'm going to let it just sit for a couple days and kind of see how it settles out. But again, just look how pretty it turned out. So now, even like knowing this is kind of like obviously a full moon oil, like just look at it. I'm still going to label it because I forget things. So we'll have like a nice little label here. So anyways, it turned out really pretty. So that's one down. Let me go gather the ingredients and we will work on the Hecate oil next. Hey guys, I'm back. And now we're going to do the Hecate oil. And this one, I had started, I kind of forgot what I was doing. And I had mixed some essential oils in here. I'm going to add new essential oils, but I don't know if you can see there's a tiny black tourmaline in there. And tourmaline is great for cleansing negative energy and bringing in positive energy. It's transformative, and that's what I think of when I think of Hecate. So I decided to use a black tourmaline, and there are a couple drops of essential in there, but I'm going to go ahead and add more because, you know, it can never hurt to have it smell, you know, you can't have it smell too good. So we are going to start with 13 drops of lavender oil. And I think you'll notice I'm using 13 a lot, so it's kind of trying to keep my numerology good. So let's see. Oh, that's like a lot of lavender oil. We're going to call that 13. These things just kind of work out the way they want to. Let's see, 13 drops of cedar oil. If I can get this open. Alrighty. Smells so good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13. And I had intended to use patchouli herb because patchouli herb is like a lot more mild than patchouli oil. However, I cannot find my patchouli herb anywhere. I've looked all over the place. So we are going to use patchouli oil. We're going to use like 3 drops. We're going to go like real mild on that. So if I can get it open. And this is from back when I was doing my aromatherapy business and bought these things in bulk. And look at how sticky that is. So it's old, but man, it's still, oh, that is potent. Actually, I could probably get, no, that's just goo. Let me try to get this out. I'm going to smell like patchouli. I'm going to have to take a break and go wash my hands before I do anything else. Because this stuff is, oh, super sticky. Alrighty. So, let's see if I can get 3 drops out of this. Oh yeah. Okay, 1, 2, 3 drops of super concentrated patchouli oil. And there we go. And yeah, let me go wash my hands because, like, wow, that is some sticky, sticky stuff. Alrighty, I'm back. And let's see. Yeah, it's still really sticky. It's still on there. So here I have some graveyard cypress. And cypress has long been sacred to Hecate because you usually find it in graveyards. So anything in the cypress family, like even cedar or yew, can be used here. So I'm going to use this sliver of cypress that I collected from a graveyard. And I'm actually going to add like a sprig of the needles as well. So that's going in. I think she'll like that. Alrighty. And you know, I actually have some, actually, you know what? I shouldn't use this one. Let me grab this one. This is some graveyard dirt from a famous author buried down in Savannah. So I'm going to use just a touch. Ooh, it smells earthy. So just a little little drop of that in there. So yeah, this may not be an oil that I wear a lot because it's going to have a lot of like stuff in it. But it would be good for like anointing candles and things like that. And the author is Conrad Aiken, so in case anyone was wondering. Let's see, so we've got, lavender. I was actually kind of surprised to find that lavender is sacred to Hecate. But if you think about it, you know, in Turkey and Greece where she was revered, lavender was kind of like this rare, expensive herb. I mean, I don't think it was really native to that area. I may be wrong, but, you know, it is something that is used like in celebration a lot. And, you know, people would have been, oh, yeah, I just got that patchouli all over my hands again. And people would have been celebrating. So I'm going to add actually 3 pinches of lavender. And it's getting everywhere. This is fine. This is all fine. This is totally according to the book. So, alrighty. And I'm going to add some mugwort because mugwort always, and actually I was going to add this mugwort to this mugwort, but mugwort to me is always, it just brings in that little bit of magic, that little bit of mystery. It's really good for psychic visions, for just anything unknown and mystical. So that's kind of like my own personal addition that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with Hecate. Okay. And let's see, I'm going to add 1 myrrh drop just because I feel like an oil isn't an oil. It's not a good offering without some sort of a resin. So again, myrrh being for the feminine principle, the goddess principle. Okay, yeah, so now I had mentioned that I did the ritual for Hecate for Samhain. This actually has like a lot of, I don't know what that is, some sort of resin. And as I did, I burnt offerings to her. So I wanted to use some of those ashes from that ritual to add to the oil. And I'm only going to add just a pinch, but I'm kind of hoping it'll just add like some black speckles, which I think will be kind of cool. So alrighty. And honestly, this is why I tend to use, when I make incenses, I tend to use a coffee grinder because this is killing my hands. Again, I mentioned I had some chronic illnesses, and fibro does not like it when you try to do repetitive motions like this. So, anyways, I think I've got enough powdered here that I can come up with a pinch. So, let's see what we got. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, good stuff. Well, there's a little piece of paper in there, but, you know, honestly, that's just going to give it more texture and more character. So that's my story and I'm sticking to it. So these were my offerings to Hecate that I burned as part of the ritual for Samhain. And now they are going into my Hecate oil. Hooray! Okay. Alrighty, let me push that down. Now I've got it all over my hands. I've got patchouli and ashes all over my hands. There we go. Alrighty, and this we're going to fill up with olive oil. Olive oil was sacred to Hecate. You know, and again, it was just so important in the Mediterranean world that it's kind of an obvious choice. So for any kind of offering to any Greek deities, olive oil is kind of the best thing to use. So, oh wow, and that looks really cool. Where did my cord go? Oh, man. I'm so not together. Oh, here it is. Okay. Alrighty. And again, I'm going to swirl it. Actually, this one, let me shake it a little bit. But I'm going to swirl it clockwise. And I'm going to spend a few minutes putting my intentions into it. Alrighty, and look at that. It does have kind of the dark speckles. It's got the bark floating in there. It's got the little sprig of cypress. And let's smell it. Oh, man. There's the tiniest little touch of patchouli, but it's really overwhelmingly lavender, which I really like a lot. Yeah, that's really good. So I think she would approve. So again, I don't know how well that's showing up on camera, but it turned out really well. So, okay, so Hecate oil, oops. Hecate oil is down, and let me go gather the ingredients for the Black Cat Uncrossing oil, and I will be back. Okay, I'm back, and this time we are doing the Black Cat Uncrossing oil, and this one took like quite a lot more preparation. There were some more unique ingredients that I had to get for this one. So, now, I do want to talk a little bit about this because I am usually the last person to blame things on some magical negativity. Whenever like young witches come to me and they say they're being cursed or they're having to fight demons and everything, I take that with a grain of salt because I don't know, I've never suffered under the illusion that I was important enough that anyone would want to send negativity my way. And I think, you know, a lot of that sort of thinking comes from just wanting to be special, you know, and it feels better to be attacked than to have to take responsibility for your own shit, basically. And I'm always the first person to take responsibility for my own shit. So, however, I have the worst luck of anyone I know. I'm like not even kidding. And I just am realizing I forgot something. Let me see if I have it in here. I'll actually look for it while I'm talking. So, I have, again, the worst luck of anyone I know. And I don't know, at some point you really have to stop and think, is this a normal amount of bad luck? Or, you know, do I have just some negativity attached to me? And I'm kind of getting to that point where I'm thinking that maybe I do have some negativity attached to me and it's time to do a little bit of work. I don't have any there. It's time to do a little bit of work to see if I can get rid of that. So, nope, I don't see anything. I will be right back. Okay, sorry about that. And, I don't know, like at some point you have to really stop and think, you know, maybe I don't feel like anyone has necessarily cast against me, but maybe there is a reason why I have all this bad energy. Can you hear the woodpecker? I hope he doesn't do this through the whole video, but I need to look up woodpecker omens and see what that means, because it's kind of interesting that he came here right as I was doing this. Anyways, so yeah, so that's my purpose behind doing this Black Cat Uncrossing oil. And to that end, I'm adding a black tourmaline, again, like I did with the Hecate oil. And again, because it transforms like negative energy into positive energy. It really kind of filters things, and I think that's going to be great as an uncrossing, in an uncrossing oil. So that goes in. And then this is a traditional ingredient in the Black Cat oil. And Black Cat oil is interesting. It can be used for love spells. It can be used for gambling. I've seen it used for a bunch of different things. Uncrossing is like just one of the uses. So I kind of wanted to do Black Cat oil, but take it over more into the uncrossing territory. So we're going to start with clary sage oil. It smells good. It smells like really light and fresh. Now we're going to use 13 drops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, I hope he's not destroying my house, but it's kind of cool. He sounds neat. He's probably destroying my house. Again, you know, bad luck. So, okay, and here is another traditional ingredient for black cat oil, and this is bay oil. So bay, you know, is often used for any kind of purification, protection, that sort of thing. So, oops, got a hair here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Man, this smells so good. I love bay oil. It's just, there's just this kind of like spicy scent. It's really good. Alrighty. Again, I'm gonna add myrrh. And again, it's just kind of adds just that little extra level of magic to me. And it is, I believe it's traditionally used in black cat oil, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to add 3. Let's go nuts. Let's go apeshit. There we go. Alrighty. Now here's where the ingredients got a little weird. Actually, let me just add the herbs first. We're going to add, no, okay, let me start with salt. Salt is good for purifying. You know, we use it as witches oftentimes in the circle to purify the space. It's good for cleansing, clearing, that sort of thing. And this is something that I just kind of decided to add. So, so there we go. There's some salt. And I'm using like the very last little bit of this Celtic sea salt that I have. There we go. 3 small pinches. Alrighty. And a lot of the uncrossing oils that I found had pepper, black pepper. And pepper is very protective. And so that really does work for this. So add a good hefty pinch of black pepper. You know what? We're just gonna add all this. Black pepper's awesome. So could not hurt, right? Probably could. It probably won't burn my skin, but whatever. Actually, this is not one that I'm going to end up wearing, and I'll show you why in a minute. Let's see. So we've got black pepper, salt, vervain. And this is one, I didn't find this in any traditional recipes. I actually found this, and I'll actually link to the video. I was looking at black cat oil on YouTube, and a lot of people were using vervain. So I looked up the meaning. Vervain is also known as verbena. And it's very, very protective. And so it's not kind of a traditional ingredient, but it's one that I think really goes along with it. And so we're going to add a nice bit of vervain here. I'm getting this everywhere. And 3, just because I like odd numbers for things like this. So 3 pinches of vervain. Alrighty. And then another ingredient that I saw that people were using is nightshade. Okay. Now, nightshade is poisonous. And obviously, like, it's going to be really hard to find because of that. But, oh my God, this smells good. But tobacco is a really good substitute. It is still part of the same family. It is still toxic. Tobacco can kill you if you ingest it. We all know it's not good for you if you smoke it either. But it's a great ingredient for this when you want to work with the energy, kind of like the darker energy of nightshade, but you can't find nightshade, or you don't want to use something that is actually, like, you can touch nightshade and it's really bad for you. I'm going to use like a lot of this. And the reason why I'm using this is again, not a traditional ingredient. I found this, a couple of people were using this on YouTube videos. And yeah, I watch all of your YouTube videos too. It kind of takes things to a darker place. Okay? And I don't want to cause harm to people. that is not why I'm here. I do very much believe in karma, and I believe in the read. I'm not Wiccan, but I do believe in the Wiccan read. And it's more that if someone is sending dark energy to me, I want it to be returned, and I want it to be just as dark, because again, my luck has just been so bad. It's kind of hard to describe. And I don't know, if someone is working on that level, I feel like I need to work on that level back, essentially, is what this is. This is not a happy cutesy oil. This is not something that you just throw together on a whim, or, you know, I would not wear this as perfume, and I'll show you some of the ingredients that I'm going to be using, and that will help explain why. But it's just, this is one of the more serious things I've done. So one of the traditional ingredients for black cat oil is steel, and I'm using a screw, and it has that same kind of energy. Not that I want to screw somebody, but I don't want to be screwed myself, if that makes sense. You've seen that meme going around Facebook, that unfuck yourself meme. I'm trying to unscrew myself, so we're gonna add a screw. And now, this one's kind of tricky. It also calls for iron, like iron filings, iron shavings. And my original intention was that I was going to find one of my 3 cauldrons and try to knock a little chunk off of a leg or something like that. And then I looked at them, and they looked at me, and I looked at them, and they looked at me, and I just couldn't do it. I was like, guys, I just respect you so much. You've really been there for me. So I was kind of agonizing, trying to come up with some, you know, something in the house that would have iron. I couldn't find anything, couldn't come up with anything. And then it occurred to me, I have all these tiny little stones, like as you saw in that bag, from when I used to mine, and I knew that I had some iron pyrite in there. And iron pyrite, it's just an iron sulfate. And I feel like the sulfur is going to go really good with the energy of this oil as well. So why would I not use this iron ore with a little bit of sulfur in it? So I'm adding a little chunk of pyrite, and I don't know if you can see, it's really pretty. So that goes in. Now here's the final, well, one of the final ingredients. And again, I love my cat so much. He's crazy. He's a kitten. We just got him. And I think that I probably will ask if he wants to be my familiar, because he's been insane these past couple of days. I think this full moon energy is just making him crazy, and he was like too hyper to have him in here, or I would have introduced him. But I asked him nicely if I could use some of his hair, and he, you know, sniffed my fingers where the patchouli is still stuck there from the Hecate oil, and rubbed his head against my hand. So I took that as a yes. So I just snipped like a couple little hairs. He's beautiful. I didn't want to take too many because he's really gorgeous. But I have some hair from a black cat. So thank you, Baron. He is named after Baron Samedi. And I know that my friend Den is laughing at my pronunciation. So yeah, let me see. Yeah, okay, that's mostly it. Now, this one I'm going to use mineral oil. And again, this is not going to be like a perfume, okay? This is going to be something I use to dress candles, or, you know, in all honesty, I'm probably going to add this to a wash, to wash my windows, wash my doors, just really get rid of some negativity in here. I mentioned the person that has recently left my life, and she left behind a lot of negativity, and I need to get rid of that. And I'm going to probably add this to some water and some vinegar to really cleanse everything and lift the energy. And also, I'll probably do a spell at the new moon to kind of send back any negativity that anyone has been sending me. So again, so I'm going to use mineral oil for this one. And let's fill that up. It's really pretty. Now, and I overfilled. Oops. Oh no. All right. This is awesome. It's really thick stuff. Shit. So, okay, well, I'm going to have to clean this cloth. Let me dump a little bit of that out. It was just so thick and so slow moving, I did not realize how full I was getting it. No, losing some tobacco. Okay, that's better. Alright. So now, it's a goopy mess. Yay. Ah, I shouldn't have done that. Okay. This is where it all goes wrong. And this is why I don't play with like any of the darker things, because this is where it tends to go wrong. I'm just going to wipe my hands here. I've got to clean this anyways, so. Alright, so my last ingredient, and a lot of people were using like a lot of this. I'm just adding 1 drop. I just want it to kind of darken. I don't know how this is going to go. This is like an experiment for me too, so. Man, it smells good though. I'm going to use 1 drop of black ink. Now, and again, this is not something you're going to want to wear on your skin because you don't want to stain, and you certainly don't want to get this on any clothes, but I figure 1 drop of black ink over all this oil, and then if I add it to a wash, it's going to further dilute it. I feel like I'll be okay. So, alrighty. So let's shake this. Let's see if I can do it without like it slipping out of my hand because it's so covered in oil. And actually you can see that that ink is not even dissipating because the mineral oil is so thick. Yeah, this is going to take a couple days for this to like set up and do its thing, because it is super thick and it's not like everything is like dispersing into the oil. So mineral oil is like very, very dense. Apparently, apparently, I'm learning this too. This is the first time I've used it, so listen to me talking like I know about this. And you can see that perfectly round little drop of ink that's just falling. It is not breaking up in there. That's hilarious. So I was worried about the ink just getting everywhere and turning everything crazy black, but nope. And that makes sense. It's a water-based ink, actually. It's an India ink. Didn't really consider that. Okay. So at any rate, let me do that thing where I kind of rotate it a couple times. And I'm going to sit here with my intention with this oil. And I'll come back in just a minute. Okay, so these are the oils that I made. And again, just ignore this. It's all sloppy. I'm going to have to clean this. Crafting is, you know, dirty business. So this is the full moon oil. And the glitter's kind of settled, but you can shake that up pretty easily. Look at how pretty that is and how luminous. And I'm actually going to take this with us tonight and kind of see if I can draw down some moon energy into it to help charge it, as well as these 2 lovely moonstones for my husband. He's such a good husband. And yeah, so that's the full moon oil. And again, it smells amazing. Oh yeah, oh man, that's just really good. And that was done in a sweet almond base. This is my Hecate oil that was done in an olive oil base. With this, when you shake it up, you can get some of those specks from the ashes of the offerings. And I don't know, this one's really important to me. This one is very personal because of that ritual, because of my connection to Hecate, because of my connection with death. I connect with her as the queen of ghosts. And yeah, so this one is very meaningful to me. I will probably, like, I've put my intention into all of these, but I will probably charge this on a new moon. I'll probably put it outside and let it kind of soak up some of that energy. So yeah, but it's really pretty with that cypress, cemetery cypress, not a lavender. And again, it smells mostly like lavender, which, you know, that's cool. I like that. Oh yeah, that's good. That's nice and strong and delicious. Touch of patchouli. And the cedar kind of just is like a base note for everything. So this is the one that was troublesome. This is the black cat oil. And it is thick and goopy. And it's kind of got this like really heavy, crazy energy. You can see a couple of cat hairs floating through there. I don't think you can on camera, but it's got this thick, goopy, strong energy, but I kind of dig that. I kind of feel like that's how it should feel. Does that make sense? It's got the tobacco in there. It's got, the clary sage and the bay, which are kind of lighter ingredients, but then it's got the tobacco, which is kind of a darker ingredient. And it doesn't smell that strong, which is fine. It doesn't really have to. It's kind of not its purpose is to smell sweet. It's kind of its purpose to clear, so, and to send back any negative energy, so. I don't know, I like this one. This is interesting. This is not like anything I've done before. I tend to do like, kind of happier, fluffier oils, although the Hecate is, kind of goes to a little bit of a dark place, but I tend to do kind of lighter things. I don't tend to work in any kind of negative magic, and, retribution is not necessarily negative, but yeah, I don't know. This is an interesting one for me, so this will be interesting to play with, so. That's it, and I hope you guys have an amazing full moon. I hope you get a chance to go out and see it. Again, it's supposed to be just gorgeous tonight. And, again, I'm going to go out and enjoy it with my friends. And that's it. Hope you guys have a great moon, and love you guys. Bye. Hey, Baron. He's gonna knock everything over. You just don't even give a fuck. Baron, say hi. Also, I thought my double chin was going away. I was just fooling myself.